What's going on, everyone? It is your boy Thriller here, and we are here for the LGA Top 32. Basically, how playoffs are working, ladies and gentlemen, is that it's going to be the top 8 out of all 4 divisions, which means it's going to be the top 32, randomized in a particular order, and we taking on specific seeding people in each other division possibilities. We got hit with a coach from the Valor division, and my cat, for some reason, is now being a pain in the butt because he will not stop going in front of the computer. So with that being said now, no team builder just because for some reason my OBS crashed. And I don't know why this thing crashes when I have to use this type of form of OBS. I don't know why. If I had my regular OBS, it wouldn't be crashing. But for some reason, my computer doesn't allow regular OBS. Don't understand it. Anyways, we're here for the quarterfinals. We are taking on Coach McDillon. And this is a very scary team. Some of the stuff that you did not see them bring had Thunderous T, a Terror Devotion, a Clodsire, and trying to remember another one off the top of my head. Basically, not Pokemon I thought was going to be in this matchup. They ended up bringing exactly what I expected, except they did bring Quaquaval, which was a bit of a surprise pick for me to see them bring, especially into the team I have. I didn't think Quaquaval made a ton of sense into me. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So there was that. But if you guys are excited, leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. Join the field crew today because you'll be thrilling with the King of the Crew. Excuse me. Well, let's get into this matchup. So I'm gonna go ahead and lead off with my Empoleon as they are actually gonna lead with their Earthworm, which was about pretty much what I was expecting. I was either expecting this or a potential Incineroar or even Dragapult lead. And I decided first off Alaskan Bullworm, perfect nickname, even though Earthworm Jim is the most perfect name, but Alaskan Bullworm is a close second. I lead with my Empoleon, and I'm thinking of there's two things I can do here. I can either go ahead and click knock off, get rid of the item on this thing, or I could click surf and just OHKO this thing if it is Fizz Def. Because I also might just put my if I have it saved, I will. If not, actually, I don't think I have it saved anymore. But basically, I was a kind of bulky, slightly speedy, but slightly offensive, modest choice specs Empoleon. But I actually, as you're going to see here, I miss speed creeped this. So this is basically designed to outspeed all the lower end speed tiers, like outspeeding no speed on this, no speed on that, no speed on that. However, I misread the speed creep on this, and I was actually 1 point slower than this thing. So it getting rocks up was actually really bad because you're gonna see that we OHKO this thing. Now, it was a roll to OHKO. It was 90% to 100 and some, so basically about an I would say about an 80-20%, 80-20 percentage. 80% of the time I get the KO, 20% of the time I do not get the KO on Earthworm. And this was one of their two Terra Captains along with Duosion. This was their Terra Captain option that they brought, and we deleted Virtual. But here's the thing now. As you can see, those rocks are here to stay. They hurt my Beartick. They hurt my Ninetales. I'm Boots on my Terrapagos because I'm a Coal Mine setup set this week. Don't really care Boots on everything else besides these two. So the fact that excuse me, the fact that I could have got rid of that Earthworm and not have to worry about rocks for the rest of this matchup definitely could have helped. So that definitely robbed that. But in comes the Quaquaval here. I'm trying to think of what it's going to do here. I decided to go into my Elsa here. Really wish I was Icy Rock, because if I was Icy Rock, we would be in a good position here. But they're going to close combat here. And they're actually going to reveal to be Choice Scarf Quaquaval, which I was not expecting Scarf. I was not expecting Scarf on Quaquaval at all, if I'm going to be honest. And here's the reason why I didn't think Scarf made sense. When you already have a move that sets up your speed, plus you can be SD, potentially choice banded, or coverage moves and stuff like that. I personally think going for close combat doesn't make a ton. The choice lock did make too much sense, and I didn't think it would. I'm so sorry, guys. I had dinner, and I guess the sleepiness of the food is starting to sneak in. So I'll try to get this done and over with. But revealing the scarf to me was actually kind of good for us because now that lets me be able to go into my bear tech. It did suck that our Ninetales went down because that meant no Veil support, and with Veil support we would have won this game. But I'm actually gonna make the double here as they go into Alcremie as I actually win in my Latios into my bear tick here. And I'm going to step a Sword Stance as they are going to go into the Incineroar. Now, if this Incineroar is Spadef, we guarantee OHKO this thing with an Earthquake at +1, and we get the OHKO. Now, if it was a slightly mixed offensive with a Spadef boosted nature, it was probably about a 90 to 95% chance I always OHKO'd, and then having that, like, roughly around 5% chance that it lived. If it was mixed offensive with, like, an Impish nature, it was probably about an 80 to 85% of the time I always OHKO'd, and then having that roughly around the 10 to 15 percentage. Basically, there was probably in some situations where it probably did have a chance to live this thing, but if it was just like around Spadef, which I think it was based off how it was and how it would be into my team, this guarantee always OHKO, so I was really good there. So we have the +1 here. Hail's gone now. In comes Terapagos, and unfortunately for us, I can't go for Icicle Spear. Because, fun fact, if you guys didn't watch the video where we had the Great Tusk on the Speedboard team, Icicle Spear doesn't actually break the Terra Shell as much as you think it does. It only breaks it the normal way the whole way through instead of just breaking it and then being like more damage as it goes on. So that didn't really help us there. So I go this, he goes to this, and it actually reveals that he is like max HP on this thing, so he's very defensive. I go into my Latios here. I decided to go for the Luster Purge, as he actually stays in and it reveals to take only 31%, which probably tells me that this thing, after doing some calcs, I think I figured it out, was probably Assault Vested, or it was just specially defensive. But then, because you're going to see, it's going to actually live the Aura Spear super well, which definitely tells me that this thing was 100% Spadef. And this is looking at the beginning and the end. I decided to go for the Flash Cannon here on the off chance that they try to do this. They actually activate my competitive boost, which I was competitive because of Sticky Webs. Masquerade! That was a Pokemon they didn't. But in comes the Quabble here, and there's a Click Close Combat. There's no reason to Aqua Step and stuff like that. But now we get to this really big, crucial turn right here. There are two turns that happen here. Either A, I go for the Supercell Slam, pick up my KO, and get rid of this thing, and have still a fighting chance to win this game, or I predict him to go into either the Polt on the fighting move, or on a potential electric or fighting move, or they go Alcremie on a potential fighting move, and I Swords Dance on that prediction. It was a straight up 50-50. Both plays made sense, both plays could have happened, and as you're going to see, they win the 50-50. Also, do not request timer. This is not your battle. There is no reason for you to request timers. But unfortunately, we lose the 50-50, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the end of our season. Oh, excuse me. The end of our season. And unfortunately, we are not going to be able to win this game. And that's really unfortunate, man. But hey, at least it came down to a 50-50. And at least no hacks or anything really played a big factor in the matchup. At least it came down to that 50-50, which, I'm a little more happy that it was a 50-50. Also, that looked like it was choice banded Dragon Ball, so I think regardless, he probably still had the matchup won. If I had recovery, I could have possibly had a chance to win this game, but at the end of the day, I didn't, and I would have lost. So if I wasn't booed so my Terrapagos, I probably would have always Supercell slammed there, and then I would have tried to recover it up and Calm Mind or something in front of the Dragapult, but yep, it's unfortunate, but hey, you know what? We had a really fun season. We from going from I think 2-2 to 7-2, and then finishing I think as the third or fourth seed. I think the third seed actually, third seed in the division. I'm really proud of myself, especially with this team. When this team really didn't have a ton of synergy, I felt like with it, and just overall didn't have that much push towards it. Speaking of which, we're going to quickly discuss the team because I'm going to try maybe do some draft recaps into weeks like this. Also, I'm doing the post-com, like I said before, because my OBS crashing. So, real quick, Cillian Quillfish. Definitely would like to give this thing another chance and another try. I felt like there were some sets I wanted to use, but I didn't really get the chance to show off with it. Definitely has potential. Brambleghast. I'm sick and tired of drafting you as my rapid spinner as a spike user, but you're decently good because of Poltergeist, and plus you're John Jr.'s favorite Pokemon, so I gotta make sure I drop my bro's favorite Pokemon. Empoleon, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, first time using Empoleon, and I did not really like it. It did not really fit anything I really liked. I love it for what it is. I love the new aspects of it. I just don't know if I want to use it again. I will definitely consider Empoleon for the future, because this is definitely something where I think maybe I like using more as an offensive piece than a bulky piece. But who knows? But I definitely would give Empoleon one more try. This season, though, didn't feel like it was that good for us. And the last mon before we talk about our top six that were the MVPs, one of the best supporting pieces I've ever used. I really felt like I really shined with Ninetales this season. Like I was using stuff like Encore, and I never use moves like Encore when I build. Like I really don't. But when I started getting a little bit more into the supportive role of what Ninetales does, Ninetales did amazing for us. It came in the clutch for us against Encore in the Dunsparce for that matchup we had. I just overall loved. Excuse me. I loved Ninetales this season, and it was just a perfect support Pokemon for us this season. Let's talk about our top six. If I had to talk about our top six, the top six at least got 4 to 5 kills at most. I think out of all of our main 6 mons that obviously did the best, I'm gonna be honest, and it hurts me to say this. I think our boy Hans was the least impressive member this season. He basically got 5 kills throughout the entirety of the season, which is great. But I feel like I do better with Hans, and I don't know why I just didn't shine with him this season. I don't know, maybe it's because I brought the wrong sets. He didn't get a chance to shine because of the Pokemon, or maybe I just didn't use him right. I don't know, but I will say this: Hans is one of the best Paradox Pokemon that was ever brought into the games, and is easily one of my top 5, if not top 3, best Paradox Pokemon to ever draft. 100% recommend Hans. He's a fantastic Pokemon. Now you talk about shockers. Who was shocked to say that this would be the top 5 of the best Pokemon of the 10 Mons we drafted? Of half the team, this is in our top 5, and I would say just barely is number 5 for us. And that is Dodrio. I'm not lying to you guys. First time ever trying this thing. Brought it to 2 games, and it's gotten like, I think, 6 or 7 kills. No, wait. I think it has between 4 and 6 kills. One of the three out there. But the fact Dodrio did that well for us is shocking, and I actually really enjoyed Dodrio this season. It was a lot of fun. I think I built it perfectly. I used a bulk up set followed by choice band set. I felt like I really I really used Dodrio perfect this season, and I definitely want to try this thing with Terra. I think with Terra, this thing is a lot more fun and a lot more cool. So very excited. Excuse me, very exciting for Dodrio from the future. Latios. For our first pick, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, even though he's gotten like 5 or 6 kills this season, underwhelming. I'm gonna say it right now. I never thought Latios would be that underwhelming. I think possibly we didn't get into games where he didn't do much, or I didn't really bring good sets for it, or I just felt like it never got into that position where it did the most work for us. I love Latios. I love what it does. It's fantastic. I don't know if I'll draft it again in some time, but I love Latios. I would love to give it another try. It's just weird that it was a little underwhelming for me this season personally, and I felt like it was not as good as I wished could have been. Now we talk about our 2 Terra captains for the season. The first one being Bertek, who shined in week 1 and really picked up some good late game kills for us in the later half of the season. I think this was our third best kill leader of the entire team, I think. And I'm very pleased with how we used Beartech. We used a well-trained Beartech. Joey, I made you proud. But Beartech was actually a lot of fun with Terra. I'm not gonna lie to you. This is definitely a Pokemon. If I drafted, I want it with Terra and I want it with Snow. I think it functions the best with that type of format for it. Unfortunately, where it shines the best at. But overall, I love the Beartech. Beartech was a lot of fun this season, and I definitely would recommend using it. It's a fun Pokemon for lower tier draft and lower tier Terra. But yeah, it was overall a great mon. And our second pick, which actually made it back to us, which I was a little surprised about, Terapagos. And to answer the question that a lot of people ask, is this thing broken? Is this thing ban worthy? The answer to that question is no. I do not think this thing is ban worthy, and I do not think this thing is incredibly broken. I think in the hands of a talented builder, it can be broken. But do I think it's worthy of going from, say, when some people say like a 16 point Pokemon to an 18 point Pokemon? Not really. There's argue for 17, which I think is fair, and some people do put it in 17 as well. But overall, I think Terapagos is just a fun Pokemon. It's not a broken Pokemon. It doesn't have anything too insane for it. It's just one of those mons that if it does set itself up right and it positions itself carefully, and gets going, it will win games. So overall, very much enjoyed using Terapagos this season. Definitely something I might consider drafting in the future. And I think it had 7 kills. It might have technically been higher than the other one, but this guy deserves his own Hall of Fame speech. The unsung hero of our team and the biggest surprise member of our team, Terra Rhydon. I loved this thing so much. Rhydon was insanely good for us. With the Terra, it was so fun to use. I do think it fits better in free Terra than it does with Terra Captains, but I do think there is potential with Terra Captains that you can actually run a cool couple of creative ideas with it. But overall, loved Right On. It was one of my favorite mons of the team, and I'm so glad we finally tried it. I think it's one of the best lower end Terra Captains you should try for yourself. But that's our season. Thank you all so much from the LGA staff for having us. We'll probably come back. We might not. It just really depends on what my time frame is looking at for leagues and if, when LGA wants to run another one. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thank you all for your love and support, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.